Welcome back to Bay Area Focus. Please welcome Rosemary O'Connor, author of A Sober Mom's Guide to Recovery, Taking Care of Yourself to Take Care of Your Kids. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
All right, so tell me about the book.
The book, well, it's Sober Mom's Guide to Recovery, and what it is, it's just 26 very short chapters, because I know moms don't have a lot of time to read.
Right.
And basically, it was all my challenges through my whole sobriety. I'm a woman in long-term recovery, and which means I haven't had a drink for over 16 years, a drink of alcohol or no drugs. And so what it started with was just, challenges that I was writing about. And so each chapter starts with a topic like guilt or shame or forgiveness, and a lot of my stories or my client stories. And then each chapter ends with practical tools to apply to whatever the situation is.
Well, congratulations on your 16 years.
Oh, thank you.
So how do you define alcoholism and addiction?
Well, what I do find is everybody has to define that for themselves. And for me, it meant I lost the power to actually choose when I was going to drink. So, for instance, let's say one day I woke up. I was a daily drinker towards the end. I didn't know if that day was going to be a one-day drink, a two-day drink, or a 10-day, 20-day drink and not come home to my kids. So I really realized at one point, I wasn't choosing it, it was choosing me.
How old were your kids at that point?
Oh boy, they were 2, 5, and 8.
Wow.
And I was just going through a divorce, and yeah, it was a really difficult time, very difficult time.
And what happened? What was that day like when you said, I can't do this anymore, I need to get sober?
Well, long story short, I had hired she was an 11-year-old babysitter to babysit my 2, 5, and 8-year-old. Oh. And I said I'd be home in 2 hours. So, I left at 7, thinking maybe I'd be home about 9 or 10. And long story short, I didn't come home. I ended up in a place that I wouldn't want anybody to end up. And I strolled in. I'd got all dressed up the night before in this long, gorgeous sequin gown, hair and makeup, looking great, and I came home, I was still drunk. And I walked into my 3 small children sitting on the couch with eyes like this. And, they weren't used to me. I wasn't that fall down drunk mom. I was the PTA mom. I was the soccer mom. Sure. And so the look on their eyes, and I was still drunk. And really it was
And that was the morning after?
That was the morning after. And my 5-year-old looked at me and he said, Mommy, are you okay? And I looked at him, it still chokes me up. And I said, no, Mommy's not okay. And my husband, who I was separated at the time, came in and gave me this look like, you better get your act together or I'm taking these kids. He didn't say it, but I knew it. So, basically I decided that day, if I didn't do something that day, like 5 o'clock would roll around again and I'd be drinking. And I really got sober first so I was afraid I was going to lose my kids, or,
Sure.
That wasn't the mom I set out to be. And I ended up staying for myself. And
well, you talked about guilt, and to look into your kids' eyes that day, you must have felt so much guilt. Is that the most challenging part of it, to go to not only, be addicted, but then to start going through your sobriety and realizing the impact you had?
Yeah, it was gut-wrenching. And I know a lot of women, especially moms, really are challenged with that, because it's the practical thing is we did do a lot of things in our drinking or using that, we would have never done. Moms, we didn't set out to be that type of mom. And so it took a lot of work to get over and to learn how to forgive myself and, just be in the day and about being present for my kids then and moving forward.
Was it difficult to write the book?
Well, what's interesting? I never thought I was a writer, an author, and certainly I never thought Hazelden would publish my book. I mean, they're the #1 in recovery publishing in the world. And so really what it started with is just journaling. Like, I'm so angry, I'm so scared, I'm so mad, I feel so much guilt. And then just this little voice kept, calling to me, write a book, write a book. I was helping a lot of women, and I thought, how can I help more women? And yes, it was definitely a journey of my own that I went on,
If someone is out there right now and they're watching and they are struggling with addiction, what do you suggest they do?
Well, right now, there's a lot of help. First of all, I want to tell them, it's not a moral issue. It's literally a brain disease. There's lots of help. There's lots of 12-step programs. They can go to my website. There's lots of wonderful treatment centers. I work for Hazelden Betty Ford, and they're the top in the industry. They're all over the nation. The good news is today you can get so much help.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story
Thank you for having
and
me.
your book. And again, congratulations, 16 years.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
For more information about A Sober Mom's Guide to Recovery, just log on to hazeldenbettyford.org/Rosemary O'Connor. That's hazeldenbettyford.org/Rosemary O'Connor. Coming up, a book about how kids can handle stress at school. We'll be back.